Hello and welcome to the Random Focus. Our focus for today will be the client information document that you need to upload under the client information tab in your GC Key account when you apply for a study permit here in Canada. In this video, I will show you the documents that I attach along with my statement of purpose. Where do you put your medical certificate, your police clearance, your marriage certificates, your birth certificates, and other documents you need to attach to prove that what you're saying and what you're claiming in your statement of purpose are true. I blurred out some of the details for confidentiality reasons, but you know the drill. Hope you enjoy, guys. Read along. It contains my statement of purpose, my medical examination information sheet, my police clearance, my Scholastic documents. The Scholastic documents are there to prove that I know what I'm doing and I have a good track record in terms of academics. It contains my transcripts as well as my certificates or diplomas. I also attach my IELTS report form. This is optional, but if you do have your IELTS, it would really help. It will convince the visa officer that your English skills are at least good enough for Canada. If you're married, attach your marriage certificate. I am married, that's why I need to attach this. If you have children, then you can also attach their certificates. These certificates are needed in order to prove filiation, to prove that you are really a family. Even if you don't intend to bring your family along in your application, you should at least attach them because you might need that in the future when you apply for a permanent residency or if you want to get your family from your home country once you're here in Canada. For miscellaneous attachments, these are attachments to prove the claims that you claimed in your statement of purpose. If you claim that you have a parcel of land as your home ties, then of course try to attach a certificate of title here, or if not, at least a deed of sale. The rest are screenshots of my online portals, my life insurance policies, my stock brokerage account, my social security accounts because I claim that in my statement of purpose, some family pictures just to connect with the visa officer that who are human beings too. This technology transfer pathway slide, care of DOST, was a really integral part of my statement of purpose because I needed to prove that there was a problem that I was trying to solve by studying here in Canada. We'll get through that as we breeze through my statement of purpose real quick. And then I also just wanted to show that my spouse is an asset to Canada if I do bring her along because Canada is known for fitness and wellness. That's why I attached some Zoom pictures of her. Let's go through this. This is the table of contents. This is the first page. And I included here how the visa officer could navigate my client information because I'm trying to make his or her life easier. So if you note here, I just put some instructions on how to navigate my statement of purpose. Here we have miscellaneous attachments are hyperlinked within the statement of purpose. You will see that later. To get back to reading my statement of purpose, he or she just needs to find this one and then click here. Then they will jump back and continue reading. This just makes the work of the visa officer easier when they assess your application. This is my statement of purpose. I'll just breeze through this, but you can pause the video if you want to read through. This is 4 pages long. I already crossed out some of the details. Now, this is what I was talking about. These two will bring you to a Google page, so that will not be within the doc. However, this was the DOST document that I was talking about. I was trying to establish in this part of my statement of purpose that the technology transfer protocol of the Philippines is indeed filled with red tape and very bureaucratic. So this hyperlink takes us to an attachment document of how it really looks like. I took this in one of the conferences that I attended. You can see here, it does take a lot of time to just get something done in the technology transfer and intellectual property space, especially if you're in government. And then if the visa officer clicks here, they will be returned to the statement of purpose. We're back to our statement of purpose. I established here why UCW. I don't need to hyperlink the University Canada West because they already know what this is. Again, don't make the visa officer's life harder by putting in unnecessary information. It has to be straight to the point, concise, and simple. In my case, my life is just a mess. That's why I had to make a long statement of purpose to justify everything that I have done so far. If you notice here, for funding my studies, this is really short, just a few sentences in. That's because there is a designated tab in your GC Key for a proof of funds document. This is where you will attach your sponsorship affidavits, your bank certificates, your bank statements, and other documents that you need to attach to prove that you do have the financial means to come here to Canada. But they do need to know that you have the means and just give them at least a final breakdown of your proof of funds. Now, for future plans and home ties, I did mention in my dedicated statement of purpose video that the best home tie is your future plans. Try to read along. That's it. There's that. And then the small parcel of land, this will be hyperlinked to the deed of sale of that parcel of land. I don't need to show you what that is, but this is a scanned copy of the deed of sale. Let's click back to the statement of purpose. Life insurance policies. Yep, if you click that, these are screenshots of my life insurance policies. Just screenshots. You don't need to upload certified documents because these are just secondary documents. Let's click back to our statement of purpose. Brokerage accounts with Call Financial. These are a joint account with me and my wife, and another joint account with me and my mom, who was my sponsor. Again, these are just screenshots. There is the option for you to ask for a certified document from Call Financial. You could ask for that. It costs around 200 pesos and it takes some time. But if you have the time, then why not? In my case, I just took a screenshot and blurred out the reds and the greens here because these change all the time. Anyway, let's go back to the SOP. These are my social security. That's my GSIS. This is just another screenshot. Blurred out all the details because you don't need to know about them. And then for my PhilHealth, same social security. This is again just a screenshot. Now, this one, the document was messed up, but this is my housing account. This was messed up as I was editing out the important details. Doesn't matter. Anyway, at least you get the thought. We're back to our statement of purpose. I did mention that my wife moonlights as a Zumba instructor. I had to prove that. So if you click that there, that's her. That's her Zumba page, a few pictures. Let's return back to our statement of purpose. Parents and in-laws, I need to show that because I claim here that they just crossed the 60-year-old mark and my in-laws are in their 70s. So I need to show them at least who my parents are and my family. So these are family pictures. I blurred them out in case they don't want to be famous. So that's my statement of purpose. Medical examination information sheet. When you do get your medical, you will receive something that looks like this. Yeah, that's me. I blurred out the details. These are the tests that I took. You might want to pause the video. I got this from NHS City. It's one of the accredited clinics in the Philippines. There's a dedicated site. I might try to link that in the description below to check where you can have your medical examination. And for your police clearance in the Philippines, IRCC requires that if you're a citizen of the Philippines, get your NBI clearance at least 3 months before your date of application and attach that here. This is where you attach your police clearance because you will not have a dedicated space for your police clearance if you're applying for a study permit via the GC key. The same goes for your medical examination certificate. You will not have a dedicated medical examination certificate tab. However, your spouse and your children will have that dedicated medical examination tab. In another video, I will show you how that looks like. My curriculum vitae, academic transcripts, and degree certificates. This is to flex, again, my skills and experience to the visa officer and show them that I am capable and I will be an asset to the Canadian government if they will allow me to come to Canada. Now, the problem with me was I had this dilemma because I jumped from job to job. So I could attach a lot of certificates of employment. However, that will really take a lot of megabytes in file size. That's why I just put here references and employment certificates will be available upon request. I took a gamble and it pushed through. So if you've been jumping from one job to another or you have a lot under your belt, you could do this, cram as much information without compromising file size, because again, each file that you upload has to be under 4 megabytes. If you put in a lot of pages there, it's going to bloat the size and you won't be able to upload everything that the visa officer needs to know. This is my transcript of records for my legal education for 2 years. That's another transcript of records for my master's degree in communication and my bachelor's degree, which was in chemistry. That's when I was an exchange student in Japan. If you recall, I was in Japan for a year. And that's where I discovered Matsuya. That's my certificate or diploma, depends on how you want to call it. This was for my master's. This is for my bachelor's. And this is for when I was an exchange student. And then here's my IELTS test report form. Those are my scores. This one just shows the visa officer that I have the English proficiency to communicate and live here in Canada. And marriage certificate. This is my wife's birth certificate. That's my first son's birth certificate, my second son's birth certificate, and my daughter's birth certificate. Miscellaneous linked attachments follow. So this is the deed of absolute sale, which we clicked earlier. And if you return here, it will take you back to the SOP. These are my life insurance policies. There's 2 of them. I did mention that I have 2 life insurance policies. I just blurred out some details, and my brokerage accounts, the one with my spouse and the one with my mom. This is my GSIS or Government Service Insurance System. If you work in government, then you should be familiar with this. If you work in the private sector, then you will have your own social security system portal. You can get a verified certificate from these agencies, but in my case, it didn't really make a difference. This is my PhilHealth. I had to attach these records because I didn't claim these under my home ties. You don't have to attach them if you believe that you have sufficient home ties. But if you want to establish social security as among your home ties because you can only enjoy them back in your home country, then attach documentation as much as possible. So these are our family pictures, and this was the document that I showed before regarding the red tape and the bureaucracy about technology transfer and intellectual property in the Philippines, and then my wife's Zumba instructor page. That's my entire client information. The actual file is just under 3.97 megabytes. I used small PDF, and I love PDF to compress them. In another video, I will show you how I collated everything, merged them under one document, and then compressed them to get that 3.97 file size. All right, there you have it, guys. If you want to check out more about the statement of purpose and how to craft that, please check out this video where I read along and explain in depth why I put those details in there. If you want to know more about how to craft a letter of intent for your spouse, please check out the letter of intent of my wife. It's over here. If you find value in this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. This is the Random Focus.